Marcus Aurelius, in his timeless wisdom, reminds us that the happiness of our lives depends upon the quality of our thoughts, and when we pause to reflect on this truth, we begin to see how much power we truly hold within ourselves, regardless of circumstances. Think about it. So much of what troubles us is not the event itself, but the way we interpret it, the meaning we attach to it, and the endless replaying of scenarios in our minds that magnify pain and diminish peace. A simple misfortune, when fed by negative thinking, grows into despair, yet the same event, viewed with calmness and clarity, can become a teacher, shaping us into stronger, more resilient beings. Our thoughts act as the lens through which we experience life. A dirty, clouded lens distorts reality and blinds us to beauty, while a clear, polished lens allows us to see things as they truly are, balanced, fleeting, and manageable. Marcus does not suggest that we must suppress all sorrow or deny struggle, but he urges us to recognize that even within struggle, our inner dialogue determines whether we feel crushed or carried forward. If we nurture thoughts of gratitude, we begin to notice blessings, where once we only saw burdens. If we cultivate patience, we discover that time often heals what seems unbearable in the moment. If we foster humility, we free ourselves from the exhausting weight of pride and comparison. Every day, we are faced with countless thoughts rising in our minds like waves on the sea, some calm, some violent, some fleeting, some persistent. And though we may not control the waves themselves, we do control whether we let them drown us or whether we learn to sail upon them with steadiness. Imagine two people living under the same conditions. One fills his mind with bitterness, complaint, and resentment, while the other chooses to frame the same conditions with acceptance, courage, and hope. Outwardly, their lives may appear similar, yet inwardly, they inhabit entirely different worlds, one imprisoned, the other free. This is why Marcus insists on the quality of thoughts, because nothing outside of us can dictate the state of our soul unless we grant it permission. Wealth can vanish, health can falter, relationships can end, but the character of our inner life, built on thoughts we cultivate day after day, remains the one true possession we can guard. Happiness, then, is not an accident or a gift that fortune delivers at random. It is the product of discipline, of choosing again and again to direct our minds toward what uplifts, what strengthens, what aligns with reason and virtue. And this is not to say that we must always think positively in some shallow or forced manner, for philosophy does not deal in illusions, but rather in truth. It means we must examine our thoughts, challenge them when they are false, correct them when they are unjust, and nourish them when they are noble. To dwell on envy is to poison our spirit. To dwell on kindness is to enrich it. To dwell on fear is to shrink our possibilities. To dwell on courage is to expand them. Life becomes lighter not because circumstances always change, but because the way we carry them does. Marcus Aurelius, who faced war, plague, political strife, and the constant reminder of mortality, knew that he could not always bend the world to his will, but he could bend his mind toward wisdom, and in doing so, he discovered the freedom no external power could take away. So, when we hear the words, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts," we should not treat them as a poetic phrase, but as a daily practice, a guide for how to live with strength and serenity in the face of uncertainty. Each morning, we can ask ourselves, what kind of thoughts will I allow to shape my life today? Will they be thoughts that uplift, or thoughts that drag me down? Will they be thoughts that align with virtue, or thoughts that betray my better self? The answer to those questions, repeated over days and years, slowly becomes the answer to the quality of our entire lives.